So we always say in the Black Panther Party that they can do anything they want to us. We might not be back. I might be in jail. I might be anywhere. But when I leave, you can remember I said with the last words on my lips that I am a revolutionary. And you're going to have to keep on saying that. You're going to have to say that I am a proletarian. I am the people. I'm not the pig. You've got to make a distinction. And the people are going to have to attack the pigs. The people are going to have to stand up against the pigs. That's what the Panthers are doing. That's what the Panthers are doing all over the world.
First thing I remember when I woke up was a knock on the door.
And Mark Clark, he said, just a minute, he got up. And next thing I knew, they had busted into the door. They came in shooting. They shot me, they shot Mark Clark.
Someone came into the room, started shaking the chairman. Said, Chairman, wake up, the pigs are vamping. Still half asleep, I looked up, and I saw bullets coming from, it looked like the front of the apartment, from the kitchen area. They were, pigs were just shooting.
Next thing I remember is someone, I think it was one of the pigs, told us to come out of the room. But there were still shots being fired. Now, I didn't know at this here time that people were coming through the back door, but I took it that shots were being fired in the back of the house and at the front of the house.
The mattress is just going, you could feel the bullets going into it. I just knew we'd be dead, everybody in there. He never said a word, and he never got up out the bed. At that time, I was 8.5 to 9 months pregnant. My baby was to be delivered in 2 weeks.
Somebody told us to get out, but I remember we were so afraid, and bullets were still coming, that we remained on the floor. I heard another pause, and then one of the pigs told us that if we don't come out, he was going to put something in there that would really get him out.
They pushed me and the other brother by the kitchen door and told us to face the wall. Heard a pig say, he's barely alive, he'll barely make it. I assumed they were talking about Chairman Fred. Then they started shooting the pigs, they started shooting again. I heard the sister scream. They stopped shooting. The pig said, he's good and dead now. The pigs running around and laughing. They were really happy, you know, talking about Chairman Fred is dead.
After a 15-minute gun battle that cost Illinois Black Panther Party Chairman Fred Hampton his life, Sergeant Groth described the parade as 15 minutes of hell and a miracle. A miracle because not one policeman was killed, a miracle because not more policemen were shot. The firing stopped only when the occupants realized their arsenal was no match for the police arsenal, an arsenal that included a .45 caliber submachine gun and 2 shotguns.
The immediate, violent, criminal reaction of the occupants in shooting at announced police officers emphasizes the extreme viciousness of the Black Panther Party. So does their refusal to cease firing at the police officers when urged to do so several times.
When you knocked on the door, what happened?
Well, I didn't actually knock. I heard our officers at the front announce their office and shots fired. So I kicked in the back door, and as soon as the door opened, I could see shots being fired at us at the back door.
You have any idea how many shots were fired?
Quite a few. I have no idea.
You have any idea over how long a period the gun battle ensued?
It seemed like an hour to me.
It seems very clear to us that he was assassinated. And the police officer who did that assassination then walked away from it and said to other people, Bobby Rush is next.
Do you think that if you had been in your apartment yesterday, you would have been shot by police?
Yes, I would have been murdered. I still think there's a great possibility of people trying to murder me, and I'm going to take all the necessary precautions. Yes, the autopsy report supports the claim that Fred Hampton was murdered. We have the autopsy reports that it was affirmed last night that Fred Hampton was murdered while he was laying in his bed. He was shot through the head.
You're saying he was not firing back?
He was in the bed sleep when he was murdered.
There was no weapon in his hand?
There was no weapon in his hand whatsoever.
The account that we made public yesterday gives a detailed explanation of what happened in that apartment. I stand wholeheartedly behind it as absolutely accurate.
There is one inconsistency in, well, for example...
I do not intend to quibble about that account.
Do you intend to get at the truth?
The account that we gave of the events is the truth.
They admit that for 12 minutes, for 12 solid minutes in those early morning hours, there was gunfiring in that apartment. And yet the federal grand jury concludes that only one possible shot could have come from a Panther weapon. And that shot could have come through the door by a man who had just been shot in the heart. Those officers fired 99 shots through the walls of an apartment where they knew people were sleeping. In spite of those conclusions, the report then goes on to say, the physical evidence and the discrepancies in the officers' accounts are insufficient to establish probable cause to charge the officers with a willful violation of the occupant's civil rights.
We can mourn today, but if we understood Fred, if we are dedicated that his life wasn't given in vain, then there won't be no more mournings tomorrow. Then all our sorrow will be turned into action. He said, but you have to remember one thing, and that's be strong. He wasn't afraid of anything.